Servus and welcome to Flo's German Kitchen. I'm Flo, this is my kitchen, and I show you how to cook the German way. And today we are making Reiberdatschi, German potato pancakes. Reiberdatschi is what we call it in Bavaria, but there is a lot of different dialects in Germany and there is a lot of other names for that dish. Other people call it Kartoffelpuffer, they call it Reibekuchen, Reibekuchen, Kartoffelplätzchen, and I think there is a couple more names that I don't know. It is a nice crispy potatoey dish served in different ways that I'm gonna show in the end, and it is very simple. It only needs a couple of potatoes. This is 500 grams. It needs an egg, a medium-sized onion, salt, pepper, and of course a good guzzle of German beer. Wunderbar. First thing I do is that I peel the potatoes. And I'm probably gonna speed that up a little later because I think that's not very interesting to watch. Next thing I'm gonna do is to grate the potatoes. And you might remember my video on Swiss Rösti, you can find it here. And that is something that is a bit similar to what we're making, but the first difference is the size of the pieces. For the Rösti, I'd probably take this size. For Reiberdatschi, you grate it much smaller. What I do is I grate the onion first. You're probably gonna see me cry because sometimes the onion just clogs up the grater, and you can clean that with potato again and then use more onion. So let's see how it works. So yeah, now you can see it doesn't work pretty well. I take some potato to clean it again. And you want to make sure you don't grate off your fingertips, so be very careful. And rather than killing yourself, just leave some peace. And move on to the next one. Oh, and now it gets me crying. Although this is a potato, but the onion's still here. Yeah, give me more. And as much as there are different names for this dish, also there are varieties in how to prepare them. The reason why I have that piece of cloth in the bowl is that I will squish out the juice of the potato, the water. Other regions, they just leave the juice in and they add starch or add flour. But as you might know from my video on making Schupfnudeln, yeah, you might remember that I just like potato dishes to be as potatoey as they can. If you want to see me make Schupfnudeln, check out this video. It is a lovely South German dish. And now I'm also gonna speed that one up. I guess you've seen enough. Yeah, that's it. Next step is that I squeeze out the water of the potato. This is because we want a very dry, let's call it dough. And yeah, you achieve that if you really squeeze the potatoes. Yeah, some people don't, but that's the way I like it because a dry dough makes a very potatoey and very crusty Reiberdatschi. And to speed up and help the potatoes release the water, I already add some salt. and you can already see how the potatoes release the water. But I need this bowl later for the dough, so I'll switch to the small one. And I'll squeeze it. And the more you squeeze, the better and crispier the Reiberdatschi get. You keep this because when you rest it for a while, the starch of the potato water will settle on the bottom of the bowl, because later on I can use the starch, add it to the dough, and create an even better binding of the dough. So this one gets rest. I add an egg that also just gets a good texture to the Reiberdatschi. Some more salt. One thing that always goes well with potatoes that I tend to forget sometimes is my beloved nutmeg, but I really give it just a little pinch. But yeah, it's gonna enhance the flavor, definitely. I'll just get rid of the water. And now here's that leftover starch. I just add it. That's already all the preparations. I'll set up the stove, and then we're gonna make our crispy potatoey Reiberdatschi. While I set up the stove, the dough released more water and I felt it is much too moist, and I just decided to squeeze it again. And you can see it was a good idea, because yeah, this will just not make a good dough with so much liquid. But now we're gonna go fry. This is a really good dry Reiberdatschi dough. I heat up the stove, and at first I'm gonna use high heat, 180 degrees centigrade, to heat up the pan. Today I'm gonna use some tallow to give a little meaty flavor to the Reiberdatschi, and just to avoid being too veggie. Before I actually add the Reiberdatschi, I lower the temperature to a medium 150 degrees Celsius, and this is a bit like making a smash burger. And what you want to make sure is that they got the same gauge at every point. And the reason why I'm using a lower temperature is that I want it to be really cooked through, and as I'm using raw potatoes, that just takes some time, and if heat is too high it will get burned on the edges, and yeah, I want to avoid that. So start with high heat first, but then lower the temperature and just give things time, as yeah, always when you're cooking, that's quite useful. And make sure there's fat everywhere. It might look a bit like when I'm shaking a schnitzel, but it's just to make sure that they always got some fat around them. But talking about shaking your schnitzel, this is a great shirt. If you want to buy one of these shirts, just click here. And if you want to help me make this channel the #1 place for German cooking on YouTube, now is a good time to hit the subscribe button, to like the video, to tell your friends about this channel, and just make YouTube know that this is great content and make it show the video to more people and make this channel grow. To find out the right time to flip those Reiberdatschi, always watch the edges. You can see the edges here are turning brown, and that's the right moment. I give them another squish and then turn them over. Yeah, this is exactly what you want. This is 100% perfect. I love it. I love it. And to get the other side just as evenly crusty, I give it another squish and press them to the pan so everything gets nice and crispy. Oh, I can't wait for that. Yeah, that looks great. These guys are definitely done. Perfect. I'll give them a minute of rest, put away the stove, and then I'll show you the different ways to serve these guys. The first way to serve the Reiberdatschi is actually, to me, a bit weird. I've never done that before because I'm just used to something else. But it is absolutely common in Germany, especially in the northern regions, and that is to eat them with apple puree. I have no idea how that tastes. Whew, yeah, I have to try it. But first, I'll try a piece. That's lovely. It's got that really perfect crust on the outside and the soft, nice potatoes on the inside. I don't want to do that, but I'll try it. Maybe it's good. It's not as terrible as I thought it would be. But everyone's got their own taste. You could give it a try and just tell me, leave a comment if you like it with apple puree or if you go for other combinations. For me, that was a slightly weird experience, and to recover from that, I go back to childhood memories. In my school, they would sell a Reiberdatschi in a roll with ketchup and mayo. Let's say a potato burger, and I loved to eat that in my lunch break or in any break. It was called KP mit Ketchup. KP for Kartoffelpuffer in Baden-Württemberg, where I grew up. They call it Kartoffelpuffer. Yeah, and that's the way you eat it. And I had it like 3 times a week because I just loved it. Yeah. This is exactly the taste I had back then. The crust, ketchup, mayo, a roll. What am I supposed to say? Try it. It is great. It's a great combination. So now we're gonna get a bit more sophisticated. We have our Reiberdatschi with grain, that's horseradish paste, I would say. And with some smoked salmon on top. I just cleared the table because I also had to take pictures for the thumbnails. Now let's try this one. think I love that. That's really cool. That sharp grain. I mean, smoked salmon always goes well with grain. On that lovely bed of crispy potatoes. Yeah, this is great. I want to get more. Yeah. Greed never pays. I love this and I want to finish that. So let's wrap this up. We've had really, really lovely Reiberdatschi, Kartoffelpuffer, Reibekuchen, whatever you want to call it, German potato pancakes. Crispy, delicious, potatoey, great, great. Do that at home. Celebrate German cooking. Celebrate those wonderful Reiberdatschi. Cheers on Reiberdatschi. Wunderbar.